So we're here with Joseph Wiley, mayoral candidate for the city of Boston. On behalf of the Weekly Dig, we welcome you. Thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
And we have two questions about the Boston Public Schools for you today. The first question is, what do you believe the current state of the Boston Public Schools is? What do you think the condition was when Mayor Walsh took control of the schools 4 years ago? And what are the condition of those schools now?
Well, I would just echo what the superintendent, Mr. Chang, has said quite often, is that we've made improvements, but we have a very long way to go. And so I don't think this is a situation where we can rest on any laurels about the improvements that have been made. The graduation rate has gone up, I believe. As of a few months ago, it was at 72%, which is the highest it's ever been in Boston, 72% overall, the highest it's ever been. But the dropout rate has gone up slightly. So we still have 4.5% of our students that are dropping out every year, and 4.5% of 56,000 students is that's a large number, and we can't have that number of people dropping out every year, going out on the streets, slim or no job prospects. I mean, what are they doing? How are they providing for themselves? So that can't continue. There have been improvements. I'm happy that Dr. Chang has gotten the graduation rate up over the past 4 years, but half of the students that graduate from Boston schools that go on to college don't graduate in 6 years. That's unacceptable. The varying rates of high school graduation are astounding. At the 3 exam schools, 94% of those students graduate. It's just 72% overall in overall throughout the system. Some of the schools have as low as 39% graduation rate. Why this variance? Students that join the METCO program, 94% of them graduate from high school. So my main thrust would be that there has to be equality, parity throughout the system. We can't have a two-tiered educational system where most of the students are pushed in the direction of what is called general education, whatever that is, in 2017. And other more fortunate students are in the advanced program, advanced studies program. Well, we can't have a two-tiered educational system, not in 2017. Whatever passed for general education in 1952 is totally inadequate, obviously, for the needs of students in 2017. So I would eliminate this two-track system. Everybody gets advanced. For those that need extra help or extra tutoring, remedial work, then it has to be provided to them. But we can't have a two-tier system. The Supreme Court in Brown versus Education in 1954, and I'll paraphrase, said that the greatest responsibility of any government is to provide education for the children, and that education has to be meted out in a basis of equality. So everyone has to get the same level of education. We can't have kids going to the exam schools or kids that are lucky enough to get into the METCO program, doing exceptionally well, graduating from college, usually in 4 years, while everyone else is obviously not prepared for college level work. That can't be allowed to continue.
I think that leads into my second question, if I may. What specifically are you going to do to improve them? How much time are you going to spend on improving the schools personally? How many schools are you going to visit? What are you going to do about quality? What programs would you add and subtract? And how much more money, if any, do you think the schools need?
Well, I think that the politicians that I admire the most are people that entered office with specific goals in mind. There were 3, 4, 5 issues that they wanted to confront and attack, and those issues were their main focus. And I would certainly, as mayor of Boston, put education at the top of my list. So I would personally devote a great deal of my personal time in educational issues, working with the school superintendent. I've said before in other places that in my first year, I would visit every school in the city of Boston. I think on a daily basis, the mayor has to, in some shape or form, deal with some educational issue, whatever it is. If it means talking to the superintendent every day, what's new, what's happening, what's working, what isn't, I would do that. In Germany, they don't have very many labor disputes. They don't have many strikes and things like that. And why is that? Because the unions are always at the table when any big decisions are made. So I think that we need to create a coalition of everyone involved, parents, union, teachers, principals, administrators, student representatives, to sit down and work through the reforms that we need to put in place. We don't have decades. This has been going on in Boston for the last 50 years. Oh, we're going to finally, make our schools excellent. Well, it hasn't happened yet. And I don't know why, but I know that we don't have another 10, 15, 20 years to be working on this. And I think that in 4 years, if you put everyone at the table hashing out what exactly do we need to do, we can make these necessary reforms within a mayor's first term. Now, if it means tutoring, if it means hiring retired teachers to come back and mentor younger, more in a less experienced teachers, we can do that. By the time an affluent child is 12 years old, they've had 6,000 more hours of enrichment activities than a child from a non-affluent home. And what does that entail? Well, that's extra tutoring, that's visits to libraries and museums, that's music classes. Our kids aren't getting that. So if we have to enact programs that give our children, no matter what their income level, those kinds of experiences, then we'll do it. We'll do it. The reason why our students aren't doing well, or half of them aren't doing well when they go to college, is because they're not prepared. No fault of their own, and I'm not saying that it's anyone's fault, but clearly they're not prepared to do college level work, at least half of them anyway, who aren't graduating within 6 years. Kids from Wellesley and Newton and Brookline, they're no more intelligent than our children are in the city of Boston. It's just that they've had all of these advantages, these cultural advantages that our kids haven't had. So we have to enact programs that give our kids an equal opportunity to do that kind of enrichment as well. So I guess basically to what I'm saying is that whatever needs to be done, we'll do it. But we don't have another 15 or 20 years to tinker around. Well, we'll try this, we'll try that. No, we need a comprehensive plan and of reforms that need to be enacted swiftly. And that's what I would work towards. That's what I would work towards. The answers are, there have been studies on urban education done going back ad infinitum. I think we know what the answers are. It's just that for whatever reason, we haven't enacted enough of them. And I happen to think that because I have studied history and politicians that I admire, I happen to believe that someone who has a goal in mind and is focused on reaching that point and is willing to spend political capital to twist arms, to cajole whatever needs to be done, that those goals can be met. And that's the kind of mayor I would be with regards to everything, but certainly with regards to education in the city.
Great. Well, thank you very much, mayoral candidate Joseph Wiley. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.